Hello and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Connect with HSPC. So my name is Melanie McGregor and I am the chair of the Halton Suicide Prevention Coalition. And with me today is Melissa Graves, who is the vice chair of the coalition and a long-term member as well. So really excited for this one because it highlights a really great community resource that we at HSPC are really happy to be connected to, and we wanted to highlight that through this episode today. So with us today is Elora, who is from an organization called Mind Your Mind. So Elora is a registered social worker, and she currently acts as an outreach facilitator for Mind Your Mind, and that is a youth mental health program that is situated in London, Ontario, and also online at mindyourmind.ca. And Elora is really passionate about mental health advocacy, and her personal experience also allows her to bring a very unique perspective to the work that she does. So welcome, Elora. We're really glad to be able to chat with you today.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
Great. So could you just start by telling us a little bit about Mind Your Mind and your mission and the kind of work that you do?
Yes, of course. So we are a nonprofit mental health program, and we specifically work with young people. Those young people are between the ages of 14 and 29. And we also work with community partners too. And through this work, we co-create mental health tools and resources. So these tools and resources are all about kind of mental health and wellness. And we do this really just to educate about mental health and destigmatize mental health issues that are out there.
That's amazing. I love that idea of co-creating too, because I think in the past, a lot of times it's been, oh, well, we put together this program or this service. Let's see what the youth think about it. But one thing that I really like about Mind Your Mind is that the youth are involved from the beginning. So they're not just giving their feedback on it. They're actually the part of creating it and putting it together. And I think that is, that's so meaningful. That's definitely a great strength of your organization.
Yes, we really love to have kind of youth involved every step of the way through the work that we're doing. Really, they are the experts in what they're going through, and it's so much more meaningful to, use a resource that was developed by a young person if you are in fact a young person.
Absolutely. And building a little bit more on that, Elora, can you tell us how exactly young people are able to collaborate with professionals at Mind Your Mind?
Yeah, so there's many different ways, but our kind of main way to involve young people and for young people to be involved is through something called our design labs. So these are the sessions that we run. With COVID, we've kind of moved them online, but we're just slowly kind of going back in person and doing them. But they are the opportunities where we sit down with a group of young people over maybe a weekend or the span of a couple weeks. And through that work, we talk about mental health within their community, and we create a mental health tool or resource specific to that community. So that's kind of the main way that young people can be involved. They can also volunteer with us. So we have many different social media channels as well as our website. So it's a great opportunity for young people to kind of contribute to talking about mental health. We also have things like blogs, expression pieces, and interviews. So all the kind of parts of our website, and young people can share their voices through that way too. And again, just kind of following us on our different social media platforms and kind of sharing our mission and our messages is another way for young people to kind of interact with us.
That sounds awesome. I love the meaningful engagement. I think sometimes youth can be brought on board and it's sort of more tokenistic than anything else. So this really sounds like you guys are doing a great job of making that work meaningful for them.
Yeah, it's definitely our goal. We want to kind of create a culture where young people feel heard and included, but that they're actually at the forefront of those conversations and those resources that we create. We want it to feel like, they're a part of something that's greater and bigger for their community.
Excellent.
Great. And I know one thing that Mind Your Mind offers, and I know I said I was really excited to highlight this resource because it was something that we at HSBC have connected with. So we partnered with Mind Your Mind to bring the Be Safe app to Halton Region as a way to hopefully help more people find support and have that connection if they're in a crisis and need that kind of support. So can you tell us a little bit about the Be Safe app and how it can help in a crisis?
Yes, so Be Safe is our free mobile app that's really just intended to support youth and young adults be safe and reach out in a time of crisis. So with Be Safe, you can create a safety plan directly on your phone. The safety plan is entirely confidential. We don't access any of the information that you record through the app. You can also find local resources for support. So if you change your region on the app, you can find resources, whether that's if you're in a crisis or maybe you're struggling with your mental health or an addiction issue, you can find a resource that's local to you. And it gives you all the information that you might need, like the phone number, the website, or if they have a text line, whatever it might be. And we also have a few like informational sections of the app to really kind of empower young people to kind of know how to navigate a crisis safely and to get the support that they need and deserve.
Right. I know one thing that I really liked about the app was just how straightforward it is. It's very easy to use. I am not techie and I was able to use it. And it's a chance for them to do planning ahead of time. So it's not like, oh, I'm in a crisis, where am I going to go? You can have that plan made ahead of time and have those local resources as well. So I know we were really excited to customize it to Halton and have that other option too, because we've heard that from young people, but other people, you know, it's nice to have that app or that kind of option as well to draw on. So it just gives another great option for people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we want it to be something that, you know, is kind of like a helpful tool in your back pocket that you can kind of pull out and access whenever you need it. And we want it to be kind of less overwhelming. And so we really kind of, when developing the app, we wanted to make it, you know, easy to navigate so that we're not kind of adding to the burden of what the young person is already going through.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And Elora, you mentioned that this app was created by youth for youth, but is it only for youth? And are there others that could also benefit from accessing the app?
Yeah, so really anyone can use Be Safe. It was made for youth and young adults, but it can also be used by friends of those young folks, family members, the professionals who support them. But really anyone of any age can benefit from Be Safe. Our mental healths are always changing and evolving over time, and, life events can happen where we, end up struggling more often than not. And so really, we want young people and people of all ages to feel prepared when those, circumstances do happen, because crises do happen. It's really kind of not a matter of if, but when for a lot of people. So really, the app is kind of set up in a way that anyone could benefit from it, especially the safety planning portion.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah, I like that approach again about being prepared rather than I'll just react to a crisis. It's okay, what are some things that I can think about beforehand and have in place? So that's great. So you talked about, that it was designed by youth and they were involved in the co-creation. Was there anything in particular that you heard from youth during that process about what they thought was important in the app? So what did they contribute to how it was created?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we actually created Be Safe back in 2014 with a group of young people here in London. And all of those young people had experiences of mental health issues and sometimes addiction issues. And they really kind of spoke openly about what it was like for them to access crisis services within the city and how sometimes they didn't have a positive experience. And so they really wanted other young people kind of going through similar experiences or situations to have kind of a better outcome. to get the help that they need. So that was kind of the main focus of creating Be Safe, is to, improve those situations, improve those experiences. So they really wanted to have a section on the app where it outlines your rights as a patient when seeking support. They thought it was really important for young people to kind of know what their rights are, to know what you kind of deserve when you access support within the mental health system. So that was a key piece that we included within the app. They also pointed out how it can be really nerve-wracking to call a crisis line or other mental health service, maybe for the first time. And so they really wanted to include something called a get help script. And so that script kind of outlines maybe a few sentences or ways you can kind of communicate that you're in crisis with the other person at the end of the line. So those are kind of the two areas, in addition to like the main features of the app being the safety planning and the resource kind of navigation.
That's excellent, because it's so hard. And I mean, we hear it all the time, not just from young people, but people in general. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to describe what it is that I'm feeling. So hopefully having that script does take a little bit of the intimidation, or it gives them something to go to at least start that conversation. So that's amazing that again, that's where that co-creation really is helpful, to get tips like that. That's excellent.
Yes, exactly. And sometimes the hardest part is just taking that first step and starting that conversation. And so this get help script can maybe help alleviate, the struggle of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And I feel like, as both you and Melanie mentioned, that first step to reach out can be the worst, most difficult part for a lot of people. And sometimes if that's not a positive experience, it can deter people from continuing to reach out for help. So, having a script like that can help help youth know how to communicate what they need is super, super helpful. So building on that a little bit, can you speak to how people can use this app in combination with professionals and other supports?
Yeah, so we recommend that, people are reaching out for help and getting the support that they need in addition to using this app. We don't want people to just, strictly use the app and not, reach out to whoever they need to reach out to. It's not to replace the great supports that are out there, especially if you are in crisis and need that specific support. But it's a kind of great way to build connections with the supports in your life. So maybe you're going to see a counselor or a therapist, and you want to sit down and fill out the safety plan together. It can often, really make the situation and that process a bit easier for young people. Kind of filling out a safety plan for maybe the first time can feel overwhelming. You maybe don't know what to put on it, what to include on it. So sitting down with that professional support and filling it out together can be really helpful. We also kind of encourage professional supports to, make sure that the young person is updating it every so often, as our mental health can change. Like the things that we do that have been helping maybe for our mental health can also change too. So what, worked for me in the last month maybe is not going to be super helpful for me 6 months down the road. So we really encourage kind of that, continuous adding and revising of the safety plan. We also have a paper plan available, so you can give that to maybe a support in your life, whether that's a professional support or maybe just a personal support like a friend or family member. And they will know what's on your safety plan and how to kind of best support you when you're in crisis.
That sounds great. And what a great way to help youth have some control over the process, right? Like if the app is something that they have on their phone and they can say, this is something that I'd like to work on and fill out. It's just a great way to give them some power and control over the situation as well.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of feedback have you heard from people using the app? Are they finding it helpful? Are there features that they really like? What have you heard about it?
Yeah, we've Been able to get some really great feedback over the years about kind of just how helpful it's been for a lot of people to kind of implement into their routine and what they do for their mental health, especially like how just kind of easy to navigate it is. And a few clicks and you can be able to access a mental health resource and get the support that you need when and where you need it. A lot of people find that it's great that it was made by young people and in collaboration with young people. So it's actually kind of an app that was informed by young people. It's not just made for them, but young people were kind of at the forefront of choosing the look and feel of it, but also like the content and the features of it. We've also gotten great feedback of how to improve the app. And so we just recently did a really big kind of update to it that incorporated the feedback we've gotten over the years of how to make it, more, easier to function and to navigate. So that's been really helpful.
Mm-hmm. I know Melissa and I, we've both had the experience. We both had the pop sockets that we got from BeSafe on our phones. And I know it's happened to both of us where someone's seen it and said, oh, BeSafe, what's that? And so it's actually started conversations, and, we could say, well, get it wherever you get your apps. And people, seem to just the idea that this was available at their fingertips, particularly when more and more people, I think, have been talking about mental health during the pandemic. It's nice to have that resource that is right there available for you right on your phone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there are so many apps that are out there. And so, we want to kind of be unique in the ways that we talk about mental health through the app. And it was like informed by mental health professionals. So we have kind of that basis. And so it's really just striving to be an app that people want to keep coming back to and using. And that's, something that we work towards.
Great.
You've given us so much great information, Elora, during this webcast. Where can people get more information about Mind Your Mind and BeSafe if they were looking?
Yeah, so we have our websites, mindyourmind.ca and besafeapp.ca. So those are kind of the kind of maybe first place to go for more information. We have great, mental health information and content on our mindyourmind.ca website. And then we have great content related to kind of maybe those frequently asked questions that we get about BeSafe on our besafeapp.ca website. And then we also are on social media. So our most popular ones are Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok when it comes to Mind Your Mind. And then we're on Twitter for BeSafe. So those are great ways to kind of learn more and connect with us on that kind of maybe, more intimate level.
That's great. Thanks so much. And is there anything else today that we didn't cover that you'd like to tell us about?
I think really just the work that we do is really with youth, and we see them as the experts in their stories and their experiences. And so really we want to, help young people to be able to talk about those things and to, use those experiences to kind of create change in their communities and create resources that will help one another. So that's really been our goal since back in 2004 when we first started.
That's excellent. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us today and to share all this information about Mind Your Mind and BeSafe. I'm sure it'll be very valuable to our viewers. And thanks everybody for watching, and we look forward to sharing more webcasts with you in the future.
Thank you.